Quick. Peace, everybody. It's Mumtahana here with Beyond Clouds. I am coming to you to ask for your help. So the Ramapough Mountain Indians, Inc., which is, i.e., the Ramapough Lenape Indian tribe, they are going to have something called the Ramapough Muncie and African Cultural Heritage events coming up June 19th to June 22nd. And on June 20th, there's going to be a conference, an African Village conference at Ramapough College. Ramapough College, again, is not affiliated with the Ramapough tribe, but it is there in Mahwah, New Jersey, where the RMI, the Ramapough Mountain Indians, Inc., is headquartered. So why is this a problem? This is a problem with us here at Beyond Clouds for a few reasons. First and foremost, it is an angle that they are now using to try to get federal recognition. Ramapough tribe are state recognized. It had been the state had taken it away from them, but then it was reinstated back in 2019. And they have been fighting to get federally recognized for decades, but they won't allow them to do it. Why? Bergen County, which is the county in which the headquarters of RMI is located, again in Mahwah, New Jersey, Bergen County freeholders refuse to allow federal recognition because they don't want a casino in Bergen County. They believe, as my son believed, that the Ramapough opening a casino would be detrimental to the lifestyle of the people. And, Two Clouds felt the same thing, not just for, citizens overall, but for the Ramapough people. They already have enough issues, and he didn't believe in that sort of thing. And so they have been fighting for decades and decades to get federal recognition. Now, somebody came up with the grand idea of, hey, there are African villages up here in the Ramapough Mountains, which is not new news. That's been, that's historical information. The Ramapough are triracial people. Where did the blacks come from? And so, they've come up with this idea now, I guess, that is like, oh, well, maybe if we could get the black people to jump on board, because black people already got many seats at the table. Black people fight in a different way and have influence, far more influence than Ramapough could, really ever dream about, to be quite honest. But so it's like, okay, let's get them on board. There's African history up here too. There's runaway slave history up here too. If we can get them on board, and say, hey, if our land keeps getting encroached upon, they're destroying your history too. If, corporations keep taking the land from us, they're destroying your history and your culture too. So, won't you help us? It's how I'm thinking this whole thing came about. Because again, it's been known forever of African history up there. And Golden Tribe was up there back in the day. Again, African Americans ventured up there back in the day. We're talking from the 1700s or what have you. So why now? Also, a large amount of Ramapough don't even mess with black folks like that. So, and I mean, other Ramapough tribal members can tell you that. I know what my son went through, but other people have even come and told me, I don't even mess with them like that. They relish in their white identity and their white heritage, and they always got issues with us and stuff like that. So again, oh, but you could use black people, and oh, Juneteenth is coming, so oh, now you on board because you can get something out of it. And I'm not, naive. I'm sure that the people who are trying to help them, they're not just doing it for, their love of indigenous people, because come on. So, I have problems with it from that. But also, Tribal Chief Dwayne Perry has a way of dismissing help that Black people have given in the past. And in particular, Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. So I'm going to let you listen to him talk about that himself.
I would also like to say this, and this is another thing of cultural misappropriation, but this time inadvertently by Black people. The tribal women, the Ramapough women, integrated the first school in the United States 11 years before Brown versus Board of Education. Now, let me be real clear. I understand where there was some confusion. At the time, Thurgood Marshall helped them. Thurgood Marshall was considered a rebel rouser, and nobody wanted to be messing with him. Case closed. Just like in the NACP. The NACP, at the time, was going out of business. So what you had was an organization going out of business, a rebel rouser, and you had about a half a dozen plus Ramapough women. They got together and forced the integration of the Hillburn Elementary School 11 years before Brown versus Board of Education. That is a mighty accomplishment. Then they had the fact that it was Native women. That's you're talking about something like 1954 or something. That's a reality. Mm-hmm. And my fault. I chickened out here a couple years ago. The people from from his Thurgood Marshall's alumni, it'll come to me when I get home, right? Anyway, they came up here. These brothers was actually absolutely beautiful, had their little suits on, Easter parts, you know what I mean? They go into a first-class school. They're dedicating this to Thurgood Marshall. I didn't have the heart to tell them, brothers ain't had nothing to do with this. You know, okay. So the way I didn't even speak up, because I'm going like, man, they traveled all over, you know what I mean? They're overjoyed here. It had nothing to do with them. So there again, that history is more than provable. You know, I've sat on a couple of boards, and then people didn't even want to hear the truth.
Right.
You know?
Okay, so let's clear some things up. First of all, the Hillburn school desegregation was not the first integrated school in America, not by years, decades. So that's not true. Also, it wasn't in 1954, it was in 1943. But let's make it clear, when Thurgood Marshall came, they had been, fighting a good fight up there, but it ain't like they were really getting anywhere. He came and took them over the hump. So for him to act like, oh, Black people are appropriating our culture, and oh, yeah, the brothers ain't really had nothing to do with this, and how dare you? But it should not be a surprise, because it is exactly what he's doing with my son. He does not speak of two clouds ever in interviews or anything. Okay? And so the biggest problem, I guess, that I have with this, if the people, Dr. Harvey L. White and Dr. Peggy Valentine, if they want to get the Congressional Black Caucus on board with this to help the Ramapough, cool. However, we need to demand that first and foremost, the Ramapough speak up for Muriid Two Clouds Williams, a Black, indigenous, Ramapough enrolled member who nobody speaks up for. They need to demand that Chief Dwayne Perry, the tribal chief, the head chief, that Chief Turtle Clan Chief Vincent Mann, who is my son's clan chief, Wolf Clan Chief Danny Dennison, who, as I said before, put Muriid, the main guy who murdered my son, made him his sub-chief, and Deer Clan Chief Carla Alexander, as well as the council. But they need to stand up and demand to the Mawa Police Department that they need to do an investigation. There's a reason why they have been quiet as a mouse. We're talking that the people who did this to Two Clouds is their family, their relatives. That's a fact. And let me tell you something. I have been saying these things for nearly 2 years, and nobody has come out and said, no, you're wrong. Nobody has denounced anything I said. No one has denied anything I said. What they do is remain quiet. Mom, hoping I'm going to go away, I'm sure, but that ain't never going to happen. So what I need from you all who learn from Two Clouds, who see that Two Clouds was really on the up and up, like I said, true blue. Two Clouds, again, is the one who put the Ramapough Lenape people on the map. If it wasn't for Two Clouds, the Congressional Black Caucus will probably not even know much about the Ramapough people. Two Clouds is the one who made everybody stand up and pay attention to the Ramapough and respect them, because as I said before, they were known as Jackson Whites. They were known as being savages up in the mountain, inbred people, all this kind of stuff. They were not in any way respected. They weren't. As I've said before, do your own research. Do it yourself. I never want anybody to just listen to what I have to say. Go out and find the information for yourself. What I'm saying is true and it is accurate. Two Clouds is the one who did this for these people. His dad's people. He's the one who came up there and within like 2 months was setting that joint afire, making people again stand up and recognize this is how it's going down now. At 24 years old, within a couple of months, and not one of them up there, man, woman, or child, did what he did beforehand, including Chief Dwayne Perry. But nobody is speaking up for him. Two Clouds served as water protector. He was their firekeeper. He got back again dozens and dozens, over 100 acres of land for them. He served as council member. He served as secretary. He served as spokesperson. He spoke all over the place, teaching people about the Ramapough cause and everything that was going on and why they needed help, and just taught people about their history. He taught them about their history, but taught people, outsiders, about their history. Let them see, no, everything that you hear about them being savages and being this and being that, it's not true, y'all. This is what it is. I'm saying in the UN, in all kind of universities, museums, everywhere. Two Clouds. Okay? Nobody speaking for him? Why? There are cameras on the land where he was found murdered. Why is nobody saying anything? Why? Chief Dwayne Perry would give his left arm to prove once again that the Mawa Police Department is anti-Ramapough people, anti-indigenous people up there, but not one peep. In almost 2 years, none of them are doing anything. And so I think that if the Ramapough are going to claim that they are for African-American people, and if the Congressional Black Caucus and the doctors are going to claim that they are for indigenous people, then Two Clouds is African-American and Native American. And again, he is the one who put them on the map. Here's the reason why people want to hear what the chief got to say now. Here's the reason why, cameras come out to the Brook Church, which is the Presbyterian church, not really a Native American church, but that's not here nor there. However, this is why. Two Clouds, when dear Clan Chief Carla Alexander, who is on the flyers that I'm going to put at the end of this video. But when she put out a call by her own admission, when she put out a call to everybody saying that she needed a new ramp, wheelchair ramp, put at the church. Nobody came through but two clouds. He ain't charging anything. He put in that ramp. Every year at Thanksgiving, he would go there and he would tell their creation story. He was like the top teacher, so to say, there, okay? He spoke the language fluently. He knew the history. He knew the ceremonies. He knew the culture. And he taught things to them who have been up there their entire lives for generations. Two clouds came and did all these things for them. Two clouds fought and had a tenured professor fired from Ramapough College because she was telling lies on the Ramapough people and teaching racist information to her class. He had her fired like that immediately when he started the school. He fought to have the Ramapough scholarship reinstated at Ramapough College so that Ramapough children could go to school for free. He was doing all these things for the people, yet nobody is speaking. So I'm coming to you all again to ask you to join with us, stand with two clouds. Stand with him, my son, who gave his life for the Ramapough people. Not only did he serve all those other positions in the tribe, he was their war chief at the time when he was murdered. When he went up to try to get help because this dude was coming up there threatening the people and everything. So he went up to try to get help from some chiefs up in Mashpee in Massachusetts. And when he came back, he mysteriously ends up dead. He was fighting for the people to the end, and nobody would even ask for an investigation. You don't ever have to believe me. You don't have to believe the audio that I put on the other day where anybody can understand, yeah, he's complicit in this, right? You don't have to believe when I call the boat manufacturers who say the boat went and flipped over. You don't have to believe anything that I say, anything that I give. However, if nothing else, he deserves an investigation. Anyone who says that they are for Black people, anyone who say they're for indigenous people, anyone who says that they are for Black Afro-Indigenous people, you have to stand up. Put your so-called morals and values where your mouth is. Stand with us. I will be putting information on the blog to contact Dr. White, Dr. Valentine, and Congressional Black Caucus to try to appeal to them. And if nobody stands to reason, we will not be quiet.